In the headlines, troops neutralize several bandits in Kaduna. Death toll rises to 35. Suspected cases hit 417 in Lagos. Relatives of missing core members seek federal government's intervention. And on the foreign scene, ICC unseals arrest warrant against Iyad AG or Agali over Mali war's crimes. Hello and welcome to News Update on Trust TV. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thank you for joining us, and now the details will start with security. Now, troops of the Nigerian Army have neutralized several bandits in a fresh coordinated attack in Giwa local government area of Kaduna State. The coordinated ground and air strikes by troops of Operation Well Punch successfully neutralized several bandits, including some of their leaders, at an identified meeting point near Bula community within Yadi Forest in Giwa local government area. According to operational feedback to the Kaduna State government released by the State Commissioner of Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Arwan, the strike was based on credible intelligence which followed the recent elimination of some bandit kingpins along the Kaduna-Katsina border areas. Arwan said intelligence report had earlier revealed that bandits were to converge at the area for a meeting on a deadly mission within the Yadi Forest general area before they were dislodged by troops of Operation Well Punch. Receiving the report, the Kaduna State Governor, Senator Obasani, expressed his satisfaction and commended the security forces for their quick response, diligent efforts, and precise execution. The governor thanked the various sources who provided crucial intelligence leading to the successful strike. Gunmen have abducted the Madaki of Shabu, Musa Shaibu, in Nasarawa State. The State Police Public Relations Officer, DSP Ramhan Nansel, who confirmed the abduction of the traditional title holder, said Shaibu was abducted on Thursday evening after observing prayers in a mosque opposite his house in Shabu, a suburb of Lafiya, the state capital. He added that efforts are ongoing to rescue the victim and also apprehend the culprit and bring them to justice. The Police Service Commission, PSC, has challenged the Nigerian Police Force to provide evidence to support the allegations peddled against it regarding the recruitment of constables. In a Friday statement by its heads of press and public relations, Ikechukwu Ani, the PSC noted that it was obvious that the NPF was out of to malign its reputation. The police had, in a statement on Saturday by the force spokesman, Muyiwa Adejobi, rejected the names of those recruited by the commission. Adejobi added that the PSC portal was scrutinized and it was discovered that several names of persons purported to be names of successful candidates are those who did not even apply and therefore did not take part in the recruitment exercise. The Joint Union Congress of the PSC had vehemently denied the allegations and later demanded the removal of the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun. On Thursday, Egbetokun denied having any grounds to settle with the PSC, adding that his action was to ensure qualified people were recruited into the force. Responding to Egbetokun, the PSC said due process was meticulously followed throughout the exercise. Away from security matters, the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos on Friday ordered the final forfeiture of the federal government properties valued at over 11.14 billion naira and another 1.4 billion naira linked to the former Central Bank of Nigeria governor. That's Godwin Emefiele. Justice Chukwu Aneke made the order of permanent forfeiture after hearing an application filed and argued by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC, through its counsel, Chineye Okezie. On June 5, 2024, the judge had upheld the anti-graft agency's motion filed and argued by its counsel, Rotimi Oyedepo, SAN, for a temporary forfeiture of the properties. Oyedepo informed the court that Emefiele was suspected of having bought the choice properties by proxy with the proceeds of fraud. The FCC named 2 current and 1 former CBN staff as Emefiele's accomplices in the alleged fraud. The properties are mostly located in highbrow parts of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. They include shops and apartments at Cadastral Zone, Maitama, and Wuse. River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has appointed the King of Apara Kingdom in Obio Akpo local government area, Eze Chike Wolu Wudu, to chair the River State Council of Traditional Rulers. Eze Wudu, who recently visited Governor Fubara to pledge his support for his administration, is to replace King Sergeant Awuse, an ally of the former governor. Obio, Akpo local government area, is where former Governor Nyesom Wike comes from. Awuse, a prominent politician, became a traditional ruler in his Emohua kingdom in Emohua local government area 2 years ago. Despite being new to the revered Council of Traditional Rulers, the former Governor Nyesom Wike, during a banquet to mark the end of his tenure, announced Awuse his long-time ally as the council's chairman. At a meeting with the government classified traditional rulers at the government house, Governor Fubara said the appointment of a new chairman is due to the inactivity and the absence of effective leadership of the council under Eze Ona Sergeant Chidi Awuse. The governor accused Awuse of failing to steer the council's affairs right and being unable to promote cordial relationships among members and with the state government. The Lagos State government says the number of fatalities from the cholera outbreak in the state has risen to 35, following the latest updates, which reported 401 suspected cases and 15 fatalities. At the last count, the government said Lagos Island, Kosofe, and Etiosa recorded the highest numbers. But in the latest update on his Instagram handle on Saturday, the State Commissioner for Health, Akin Abayomi, said the number of confirmed cases in the nation's commercial capital is now 417. On Thursday, the World Health Organization announced a spike in cholera in several regions of the world, with almost 195,000 cases and over 1,900 deaths reported in 24 countries since the start of 2024. According to WHO, the Eastern Mediterranean region reported the highest number of cases, followed by the African region, the region of the Americas and Southeast Asia region, and the European region. Relations of a missing National Youth Service Corps member serving in Ondo State have appealed to the federal government to help rescue him. They called on the authorities involved to intensify efforts to locate their missing son. Trust TV's Jonathan Awai tells us more.
Okeke Chukwuemeka Godwin, a graduate of computer science from the Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, Anambra State, was a National Youth Service Corps NYSC member serving at Akure South Local Government Area of Ondo State. The parent of Chukwuemeka said he was expected to have done his passing out parade on the 13th of June, but was last seen on 9th of May. They regretted that all their efforts to find him had not yielded any positive result, hence the resolve of the family to seek federal government assistance.
I beg government to make them please help me, make this my son no lost. If they know anywhere they can help me, let them help me, because the boy suffer too much. Let them help me. He starved in order to go to school because we didn't have anything, only famine. The boy determined to go to school. He said, anyhow I can help me, let me help him so that he will go school because he wants to go school. I said, okay, I will help you. We starve. I don't even wear clothes just to make sure that he go to school. So after the school, this is the result now.
So, and up till now, I haven't seen him. I haven't gotten any information about his whereabouts. Then, so now I came back to Ondo State for the same matter again. So I'm begging all the security agencies from Ondo State, Akure to be precise, to help me out on this matter. And I'm also begging government to also help me on this issue.
Residents of Akure South local government area appeal to security operatives to assist in finding the missing corps member and reuniting him with his traumatized family.
Firstly, from my other neighbor, very close to me, that a copper here, so one copper here who had been living here, they said he's not coming home. They've not seen him throughout. He didn't come home, and it's very unusual. I said, so I didn't worry. I said, I know. Probably he went to some of his cars. That's how coppers behave.
He went to that lodge.
But I know that Godwin is living here because every one of us, we are doing our own business. We mind our own. I pray to God that the God Almighty will help us search him and find it.
The Ondo State Police Command, through its Police Public Relations Officer, Fumilayo Odunlami, said they are intensifying efforts to trace the missing person and urge members of the public to volunteer any useful information on a missing National Youth Service Corps member in the state. Officials of NYSC in Ondo State declined to comment on the matter, saying the case has already been reported to relevant authorities. Jonathan Awaya, Trust TV News, Akure.
Residents of Makurdi, the Benue State capital, have attributed the decline in morals among children and young adults to lack of proper upbringing. The residents, who are worried that the negative aspects of technology are taking a toll on the young ones, are urging parents to bring up their children in line with African values. Jimmy at Sunday tells us more.
The residents are worried that tradition, which played a major role in the upbringing of kids, is gradually waning due to the upsurge of modernization.
The advent of technology has brought more harm than good. Go to some African homes, you see a child of 4 years having a phone, and it will be the parents who got the phone. What does a typical African child of 4 years need a phone for?
They said at the moment, most African societies are struggling with the declining values, a situation that calls for serious concern.
A child speaking the English language and not speaking the Tiv language is seen as an intelligent child, so to say, or is seen as a good kid amongst kids that can actually speak the mother tongue. So in that regard, to begin to see that globalization has been able to impact on that aspect of language.
Before now, Africans were solely practicing the culture of the natives, where an African man will rise up and do on his own practices, such as language, dressing, eating, and whatever.
They suggested some form of cultural reorientation as a way forward.
But if our parents can go back to grassroots and teach us all about our culture, then of course we will be able to pass it on to the next generation.
Accept globalization with its good effect and then avoid the negative sides of globalization, such as which would impact on the culture and then cause a decline in the culture of our people.
Schools should encourage curriculums that teaches culture in their classes, so that the children can also copy and in fact inherit back the way of African culture.
The way of life hitherto unknown to Africans is suddenly taking the center stage. And this is worrisome, because the multiplicity of cultures is what makes countries like Nigeria unique in conception. Jimmy Azandi, Trust TV News, Makodi.
Moving on to more stories. A yet-to-be-identified young man has been electrocuted near the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, the JAM Center in Otukpo, the headquarters of Otukpo local government area of Benue State. The suspected had finished vandalizing a transformer on a high-tension pole before he was electrocuted when power was suddenly restored by the Just Electricity Distribution Company, the JETSI. It was gathered that the incident occurred late on Friday. The lifeless body was discovered dangling from the high-tension pole on Saturday morning, with passerby gathered around the corpse. At the time of filing this report, electricity distribution officials were still retrieving the lifeless body of the suspect from the electric pole where he was suspended. Nigeria, Ghana, and 61 other countries are some of the countries facing food poverty, a report by the United Nations Children's Fund, the UNICEF, has said. In the latest report for June 2024, the global body also listed Afghanistan, Bangladesh, China, Cote d'Ivoire, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Others are Ethiopia, India, Indonesia, Myanmar, Niger, Pakistan, the Philippines, Somalia, South Africa, Uganda, the United Republic of Tanzania, and Yemen. According to the report, 1 in 4 children is living in severe poverty and child food poverty in early childhood, amounting to 181 million children under 5 years of age. The body defined child food poverty as children's inability to access and consume a nutritious and diverse diet in early childhood. Newspaper vendors have decried low patronage in Bauchi State, describing the situation as worrisome. They blamed the low business on the current economic crisis caused by unfavorable government policies. Trust TV's Adamu Imam tells us more.
Bauchi State newspaper vendors Sani Bello and Musa Amadu have spent at least 2 decades of their lives as sales representatives of various newspapers within the state capital. They share their thoughts on the impact of economic crisis and the proliferation of online news platforms on their business. Honestly, it's very clear now. People resort to online news than reading stories through newspaper hard copy. So people don't patronize a news stand like before, and coupled with the high cost of living, which aggravated the situation. By now, you will see people gathered arguing on issues, and they don't wait till end of the month to collect their salary. We see them on daily basis, including those reading headlines only without buying the paper. I spent 25 years selling newspapers. I used to sell 100 copies before, but now even 25 copies is very difficult to sell, except on Fridays that sales pick up. But the life situation now is unbearable. Now with the advent of Android phones, online news, people get stories quicker than in newspaper hard copies. Android is killing our business, honestly, though we are still praying to have alternative means of survival, but newspapers is gradually fading. Joseph Bulus, a resident of Bauchi, is a regular reader of newspapers. He said vendors now finding it difficult to survive due to low patronage.
Because it goes faster and people are patronizing them more than the conventional medias. But the question is, one disadvantage with the online medium is, except those who have the Android phone, and if you don't have the Android phone, there's no need and there's no way you can access the online media to read what they wrote there. But most people prefer them as if there is, or that is the only way to access way of getting information.
According to them, the advent of online media has drastically reduced the fortunes of newspapers. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
In business, the Securities and Exchange Commission has issued its framework on banking sector capitalization program 2024. The framework was released on the Commission's website on Friday. This follows the Central Bank of Nigeria's March announcement of fresh minimum capital requirement for all banks in Nigeria to achieve a $1 trillion economy. Accordingly, the SEC's framework serves as a comprehensive guide for banks, holding companies, and market participants to navigate the recapitalization program effectively. Consequently, the SEC said it will charge banks about 1 million naira as a penalty for an application returned for being incomplete. Away from Nigeria, the International Criminal Court on Friday unsealed an arrest warrant for a Malian accused of war crimes and crimes against humanity in the desert city of Timbuktu in 2012-2013, where he is suspected of leading an Al-Qaeda group. The warrant for Iyad Agali, also known as Abu Fadl, was originally issued under seal in 2017. It charges him with crimes including murder, rape, sexual slavery, and persecution of women and girls on gender grounds. It covers crime in Timbuktu and an attack on a military base during which more than 40 Malian soldiers who were not taking part in hostilities were executed, including some who had surrendered and others who were in the base's hospital, according to the French language warrant. The court said in a statement that there are quote-unquote reasonable grounds to believe that he would be the undisputed leader of Ansar-Din, the extremist group which held power in northern Mali at the time. In a written statement, the court's prosecution office welcomed the unsealing and said the warrant for Gali reflects the continued efforts of the office to deliver justice for those in Mali who fell victim to crimes that were committed since 2012, when Malian authorities asked the court to intervene. And finally, in sports, Eyimba striker Chijioke Mbauma and Remo stars Sikiru Alimi are favorites to claim the top scorers prize on the final day of the 2023-2024 Nigerian Premier Football League season. Mbauma currently sits at the top of the log with 16 goals, while Alimi is second with 15 goals. Eyimba will entertain Plateau United in Aba on Sunday, while Remo Stars will be home to Katsina United. Plateau United's Albert Hillary and Jonathan Aluku of Sporting Lagos also have an outside chance of claiming the top scorer honor. Hillary and Aluku have scored 12 goals each. Godwin Obaje of Rangers and Niger Tornadoes, Bashir Usman, have registered 11 goals each. And with that, we've come to the end of News Update on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thanks for watching.